Kia ora koutou katoa, nau mai hara mai ki te Ao Hākinakina, your sports show, right here on your Tribal Pulse, Te Korimako, Taranaki 94.8 FM and 98.4 FM. Well, he is a weaver of people and charismatic coach with the kids. Not here, though, whānau. He's across the ditch in Brisbane, Queensland. He is as passionate as it comes when talking all things footy. A proud Taranaki man now plying his trade over into Te Whenua Moemoea. No mai, hara mai, Tommy Way. Kia ora, bro.
Kia ora whānau, how we going?
Good to see you, brother. Good to have you on the show, man. Really looking forward to our kōrero. But hey, before we get started, ko wai koe no he koe, a bit about yourself and where you're from.
So born and raised in New Plymouth, on Claudon Street there in West Town. Went to Francis Douglas College there. Played all my footy there, and obviously all my junior stuff and senior stuff for Spotted United. And then obviously moved over the ditch, as you mentioned, in 2009, and been here ever since.
Awesome, bro. So, hey, you mentioned Spotty United and you're brought up in Claughton Street. And so tell us a little bit about your upbringing in Ngāmotu and New Plymouth and your early passion that you had for rugby union.
Oh, well, man, I was lucky enough, or I suppose old enough, to say that I actually started my footy for Star back before Spotted United was even a thing. I was there in 1988. Begun playing barefoot footy in the Star jersey with Bill Peoples. Some of them might remember the owner of People's Meats. He was my first coach for the first few years. And man, I just loved it ever since. Like the whole the amount of friends and you know, sliding around in the mud and getting a salve and a drink after the game and all that. Like that hooked me, And then lucky enough, once the merger happened with Spotswood Old Boys, to play in the first ever season of Spotswood United back in 91. From then on, I was coached by another famous rugby man around the grassroots traps of Taranaki by the name of Daryl McCracken. He took me right through to under 13s, where I moved over to Francis Douglas. But the amount of boys and the amount of things that we did as juniors, we were very, very lucky in those times to have such a good coach and someone that a good bunch of people at the club that were as committed to the juniors, I suppose, as I am today, and put those type of things in us.
It's awesome. You mentioned some pretty awesome people there, like you said, planting the seed while you were young, and now you're in that space doing the same for the next generation. But was it always rugby union as a kid? Was there other sports that you played?
I had a little dabble at a couple of games there for rugby league down at Tigers. Not many, but yeah, a couple of games down there. I did enjoy having a couple of games down there at Tiger Town, but I also enjoyed my sleep-ins on a Sunday, so it didn't really kick on the league side of things. No, definitely a big cricketer. Actually, Neil Barnes, the current Taranaki coach for the NPC, was my last cricket captain. We were playing up at Mangarei there in the third grade, but he treated it like it was an NPC team. It was pretty intense for fourth grade, that's for sure. But I always loved my cricket as well. And then whenever I get an opportunity, as you know, Caps, I also love a bit of fishing and a bit of eeling, even over here in Aussie. I don't get as much time as I did back home, because obviously it's harder to get to a good spot than it is back home. But whenever I get a bit of free time, I love getting the rod out and having a cast.
Oh, great stuff! Get out and have a cast. That's the one. So what was it about rugby union that made it the game of your choice? Like what do you love about the game?
I suppose it was just the camaraderie. So, we were lucky growing up. The boys in our neighbourhood were our team, So the guys that I was going to West Town Primary with, the guys I went them integrated with Devon Intermediate, Those were our teams. So our first 15 at Devon, you know, was half our Spotswood team, and then half the other Spotswood team. But we were all there, you know, all there at training. We'd all hide in the trees around Rugby Park, eating our $1 worth of hot chips, you know, before we ran out to training, and then all get a stitch about 5 minutes into the training. But, you know, like, and then we'd all just go home together, you know, like we're all just that type of community. Our parents all knew each other, so we kind of grew up in and around each other, even when we went to high school and obviously different high schools. And I suppose it was just that camaraderie. I really enjoyed it, you know, like I was around it 24/7. My grandparents would stay at the club, watch seniors, stick around for a couple of beers and watch the footy on the TV at the Spotty club rooms. So I was just brought up with it. And I mean, I suppose we were lucky coming through, and you were there yourself, Caps, through that Spotswood era where it was pretty strong there. You know, we were the strongest junior club in the Nucky at the time. You know, we had some pretty competitive senior teams at the time, and you know, we were just lucky that our parents and all that installed that into us. And I suppose coming to Australia, it's not as it's not as connected as it is back home. So with the amount of Kiwi kids that play union over here, it's probably something that I've kind of taken upon myself, and a number of other volunteers at grassroots level over here in Australia have taken upon themselves to try and give them as much of a Kiwi experience in footy as possible.
Well, speaking of that, you made the move. You made the move across the ditch some time ago now. But how have you found the transition, and how's the footy over that way?
Yeah, it's definitely different. I mean, I really enjoy the Nucky way of life. You know, the beaches and the small towns and the bush and all that. So coming to a concrete jungle and like Brisbane was definitely an eye opener for me. And it's something that I suppose for some people more than others, it does take a long time to get used to. And it did take a little bit of time for me. I definitely got homesick quite early. In that first year and a half, I suppose, I really wanted to, you know, I really wanted to move home, you know, but we stuck it out. And but it definitely is, like, for all the Kiwis that come over, it's not as easy as what a lot of people think when they first get here. And you know, and when you don't know too many people over here too, it can be a tough time. So again, things like rugby communities and sporting communities over here, especially like where I'm down at Logan Saints, is quite lucky because it's very Kiwi orientated. So you get amongst people like yourself that have got the same homesickness as yourself, and you kind of transition into the Aussie way of life.
Yeah, I know that firsthand. I've lived over there for some time myself. So, hey, tell us a little bit about what you're up to over there at the moment in the coaching space. I know you're doing some amazing things with a lot of the youth over there, the young rugby players, not only in Queensland rugby, but Māori rugby and stuff like that as well. So, yeah, just give us a little bit of a insight into that.
Yeah, cool. So we so I'm currently the president of the Logan City Saints Rugby Union Club. As I say, it's a very Kiwi orientated club. So you know, they were on life support there for a bit. They needed some strong guidance and some good people to come in. So myself and a number of other good people kind of made the decision to go resurrect the Saints. That's been a 3-year project now. We've got a very strong junior program happening at Saints at the moment. Multiple teams winning finals and making grand finals and all the rest of that. So this year I took the under-14 side myself there at Saints and with Grayson Tikiri, and we ended up making the finals for the Brisbane Division 1 grade over here, which is the top grade for club rugby. And a number of our other junior teams did the same. Next year, I'm stepping more into a like a development role, helping a lot of the other coaches and doing things with their sessions and teaching them like planning and you know, forward thinking and all that type of stuff to help them out. And also me and my partner run the Queensland Kiwi Junior Rugby Union over here, which is these guys. And so they're an organisation that play in the Pacific Youth tournament here in Brisbane, where all the Pacific Heritage sides kind of get together at the end of the season and have a good crack at each other. So, you know, being a passionate Kiwi man and not seeing that there at that time, you know, we created that organisation back in 2019. And we've risen to great heights now where our program far exceeds the Pacific Youth Tournament. We play against the Aussie team in a junior Bledisloe Cup style match. It's called the Trans-Tasman Cup. And we've been the holders of that since 2019 and hopefully for many more years to come. But they are getting better. I'll give them that. And we've also just created ties with the Sydney Kiwi Junior Rugby Union and the Victoria Kiwi Junior Rugby Union, where we're going to have an annual tri-series starting next year between the three Kiwi organisations from each state, you know, to mix and mingle with other Kiwis and have a good crack there. So it's a good chance for the kids. Like a lot of the kids over here, a lot of the Mozzie kids that are born over here, haven't experienced any Kiwi rugby style. A lot of kids, you know, besides from the haka that they see on TV when the ABs or the Black Ferns are doing it, don't experience any te reo Māori. So it's a good opportunity for our Kiwi kids, you know, to get that opportunity to do a haka, to learn a bit of te reo. At the same time, you know, we try and get our calls, like through all the age groups, a few calls in te reo Māori. So, you know, there's some of our kids over here that, you know, they've never heard te reo in their house, that they are of Kiwi heritage. So this is their opportunity to get a bit, which I think, you know, makes Kiwis unique. So having that ability to tap into their Māori heritage as well. So, yeah, so it's a big thing. It's a big movement. We started off with 4 teams. We're up to 10, and it's getting bigger.
That's amazing, eh? All the mahi you're doing over there, and like you said, it's so important. I remember when we lived over there, so important to ensure that cultural connection is part of all that you do over there, eh? To keep that strong, because obviously, you know, you miss the roots of home, but when you're amongst your own over there and you're in those type of spaces, that gives you that little taste of home. So awesome mahi doing that. But what is it about junior footy that you love so much? What is it about the kids footy that you love?
I think with junior footy, it just gives them something to do now more than ever as well. We're definitely in the age of technology now, in terms of everything. You know, like you know, back when I was at school, you could climb a tree. And you wouldn't get told off. You know, our playgrounds were dangerous, but they were fun. You know, now you have a look. You know, if you try and climb a tree, you get a detention. You know, the playgrounds are you know, they're not fun. But also the you know, if you look at the juniors right now, you know, they get home, they're on tablets, they're on PlayStations and all that. So I think it's important now to more than ever to get the kids outside and keep the kids active and fit. And, you know, rugby is a great portal to do that. You know, you get to let out a bit of frustration too. You know, it's a physical sport. You know, you got to put in. But, you know, at the same time, it's fun. As I say, you get that camaraderie. And I think there's a big window over here with more and more Kiwis and Pacifica people and migrating to Australia every year. There's a big opportunity there for Aussie rugby to grow. And you know, like you see these kids, it's important that these kids in a market like Australia, where there's 10 other professional sports over here, all vying for your kids' participation. It's important that we, in a junior space, that we put a big foot forward and capture those kids in union before they go somewhere else.
That's great. You're doing some amazing work over there, bro, and it's just awesome to watch from back on the other side of the Tasman, to see all the awesome work that's been done there by yourself and many of our others that are you know, living their lives over there in Te Whenua Moemoea. So from all of us back here in Taranaki, thanks for your time, for jumping on the show. Appreciate all that you do, and hopefully one day you can come home and put that same energy and back home. We'd love to have you back, but all in good time. So thanks for coming on the show with us.
Awesome. Appreciate it, whānau. I hope everyone has a good Christmas over there back home. Cheers.